For 70 minutes at the World Economic Forum in Davos, US President Donald Trump used his speech to hurl insults and attacks at countries' leaders and institutions. At an event meant to discuss global priorities, Trump unsettled his counterparts, spoke of his desire to take over Greenland, and boasted about US actions in Venezuela, including the kidnapping of President Nicolás Maduro. Although he claimed he would not use force to seize Greenland, the semi-autonomous territory of Denmark, Trump lashed out at NATO in front of alliance members and criticized various leaders, while also mocking energy policies and wind power. Mexico was not targeted, nor was China, although he recalled that in 2020 he had called COVID-19 the Chinese virus, a term he said he stopped using after speaking with Xi Jinping. Regarding Canada, Trump directly mentioned Mark Carney after the Canadian leader warned that the US-led, rules-based international order had come to an end. Trump asserted that Canada receives many things for free from the United States and said it should be grateful. Canada survives thanks to the United States, he said, accusing the Prime Minister of showing no gratitude. Carney, for his part, had stated in Davos that the era of US's hegemony may have ended and described the current moment as a rupture without mentioning Trump by name, though the message was clear. Trump also linked Canada to his proposed Golden Dome missile defense project, claiming that the system would protect the neighboring country. On Denmark and Greenland, Trump described the territory as cold and poorly located, arguing that the United States should control it for national and international security reasons due to potential interest from China and Russia. He said the request would be very small and spoke of immediate negotiations, assuring that he would not use military force. However, he warned that if European leaders rejected the acquisition of Greenland, the United States would remember it. He recalled the German invasion of Denmark during World War I, called the United States stupid for having returned Greenland, and labeled Denmark ungrateful, despite the fact that it never had sovereignty over the island. In his attacks on Europe, Trump claimed that without the United States, most countries would not even function. He said his country cares about Europe and invoked World War II to argue that without US intervention, you would all be speaking German and a little Japanese. He criticized migration policies and claimed that Europe is not heading in the right direction. On clean energy, Trump argued that European countries have harmed themselves by reducing emissions and boasted about having brought renewable energy plants in the United States. He attacked wind energy, blamed the left for the policies of Germany and the United Kingdom, and said that China sells turbines to stupid people who buy them, even though both countries generate a similar proportion of electricity from wind power. While discussing Greenland, Trump confused the territory with Iceland and said that the US stock market fell because of Iceland. He claimed that Iceland had cost the United States a lot of money, despite Greenland and Iceland being separate entities, generating confusion and criticism. He also did not spare Switzerland, the host country of the forum. He said they are only good thanks to us, and explained that he raised tariffs on the country to 39% due to a personal decision following a phone call from then President Karen Keller-Sutter that irritated him. According to Trump, after that conversation, he decided to raise the tariffs even further. Trump also attacked the Somali community, referencing a fraud scandal in Minnesota and questioning their intelligence. "Can you believe it? Somalia turned out to have a higher RIC than we thought," he said, provoking protests from the audience. He has long targeted that community of around 80,000 people in the state. He also brought domestic issues to Davos, criticizing the Federal Reserve for consulting him about interest rates, and launched insults against leaders such as Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. He said that if they did not reach an agreement, they were stupid, before later claiming he did not want to insult anyone despite having insulted nearly everyone during his speech.